When disaster strikes, blackouts, natural disasters, or even full-blown societal collapse, people always miss the same critical things. Not the flashy survival gear, not MRES, bug-out bags, or bullets. I'm talking about everyday household items you ignore until they're gone. Here's the hard truth. When the system crumbles, it's not the gear you see in survival videos that'll save you. It's the simple, overlooked stuff no one talks about until it's too late. And trust me, the regret hits hard when you realize you had it, but didn't keep it. Today, I'm breaking down 9 unexpected items that seem useless now, but will be absolute lifesavers and top-tier barter gold when everything goes dark. If you're tired of recycled prepper advice and want a real edge, stick around. This isn't just prepping, it's survival done smart. 1. Hand-operated water pump. The lifeline you didn't know you needed. When the grid fails and water stops flowing from your taps, most people think, "No problem, I've got water stored." But here's the catch. How are you actually going to get that water out of your barrels or jugs? This is where most preppers drop the ball. Enter the hand-operated water pump, a simple, low-tech tool that can mean the difference between staying hydrated and struggling to access your own emergency supply. Water barrels sound great in theory. They hold gallons of clean water for emergencies. But when they're sitting on the ground in your basement or backyard and there's no faucet pressure to help you, you're stuck trying to scoop water out with a cup or bucket. Not only is this messy, but it risks contaminating your entire supply. Imagine having 50 gallons of water but no practical way to use it. That's not just frustrating. It's a survival fail. A manual water pump fixes that instantly. These hand-operated siphons attach directly to your barrel or jug, letting you extract water with just a few pumps. No spills, no waste, no contamination. Lightweight, no electricity needed, no complex parts to break. Store it in a drawer, forget about it, and when the day comes, it'll work. And here's where it gets interesting. Barter value. While others are scrambling for bottled water, you'll have the ability to access and share water from large containers. That makes you an asset in any community or survival group. You could trade water extraction for food, medicine, or shelter. Don't forget hygiene either. Whether it's washing hands, cleaning wounds, or rinsing utensils, a manual pump ensures you can dispense water safely without dipping dirty containers into your stash. Bottom line, if you're storing water in barrels, jugs, or containers, a hand-operated pump isn't optional. It's mandatory. A $10 tool that could save your life and make you valuable when the world goes dark. Don't wait until it's too late to realize you needed one. 2. Reinforced door hinges and screws. Your first line of defense. When people think of home security in a collapse scenario, they picture padlocks, cameras, or firearms. But here's the reality. When there's no electricity, no police, and no help coming, your home's physical structure is your last defense. And most homes? They're shockingly easy to break into. Most doors are installed with flimsy half-inch screws that barely hold the frame together. A few kicks, a hard shove, and the door gives way. Now picture this. You've spent months stockpiling food, water, and medical supplies, only to have it all stolen because your door couldn't hold up. That's not just lost resources. That's your safety gone. The fix: heavy-duty hinges and 3-inch screws. Total game changers. They anchor your door frame securely, making it far more resistant to forced entry. Some kits even come with strike plate reinforcements, which spread the force of a kick across a wider area, reducing the chances of failure. And this isn't high-tech or expensive. Anyone with a screwdriver can do it in under an hour. The same principle applies to windows, garage doors, and other entry points. By reinforcing weak spots, you turn your house from an easy target into a fortress. And in a world where security means survival, that small investment pays off huge. Barter value? Off the charts. While others obsess over food and water, you'll have the tools to make shelters safer. That's more than useful. It's trust building. A box of screws and hinges doesn't look like much now, but post-collapse, it could be worth its weight in gold. Takeaway: don't just prep what's inside your house. Prep the house itself. Reinforce your doors, secure your windows, and protect your shelter. Because survival isn't just about having supplies, it's about keeping them. By shoring up those weak points, you turn a vulnerable house into a hardened refuge. In a world where security equals survival, this modest investment returns huge dividends. Think barter value. While others obsess over stocking food and water, you'll have the supplies and know-how to harden shelters, and that ability builds trust. People trade with those who can actually make homes safer. A box of heavy screws and sturdy hinges might look insignificant today, but in a collapsed scenario, it could be as valuable as gold. The takeaway is simple. Don't only prepare what's inside your home, fortify the home itself. Reinforce doors, secure windows, and make your shelter resilient, because survival isn't just about having resources, it's about keeping them. 3. Steel wire roll, the underappreciated backbone of any kit. When you need to bind, secure, or repair under pressure, rope, duct tape, and zip ties eventually fail. Rope frays, tape loses tack. Zip ties snap. Steel wire doesn't. It bends, holds its shape, and delivers brute strength for jobs that demand permanence. Patch a makeshift shelter, lash timbers, or fasten metal sheeting through a storm. Steel wire does it without sagging. Repair a broken gate hinge, lash a tarp, hang cookware over a fire, rig an improvised lock, or mend a snapped pack strap. It's heat and water resistant and won't rot like natural fibers. In short, it handles heavy-duty tasks other materials can't. Its utility makes it a superb barter item. While folks scramble for paracord and tape, you'll own the material that solves the real problems. Look for galvanized steel wire in the 16 to 20 gauge range, stiff enough for demanding work, but still workable by hand. Coil it into small bundles for your bug-out bag. It's light, compact, and can literally hold your survival plan together. Most people already have wire in a garage but don't think of it as mission critical. Don't make that mistake. When systems fail, it's the simple, dependable tools like steel wire that keep everything running. 4. Button cell batteries. Tiny power with huge impact. Everyone buys AA, AAA, and even D batteries, but far fewer people think to stock button cells like CR2032. That's a costly oversight. These coin batteries run crucial devices you'll depend on when the grid dies. Digital thermometers, glucose meters, watch movements, gun-safe electronics, red dot sights, medical scales, and the memory backup for headlamps or radios. When those small cells fail, the device becomes useless, and in a collapse, that can mean the difference between functioning and helpless. Button cells aren't carried in bulk on store shelves the way AA and AAA are, so they become scarce fast. Yet many long-lasting, high-efficiency devices use them for a reason: compactness and stability. That compactness makes them easy to overlook in your prep audit. Picture someone with a dead glucose monitor or a non-functional medical thermometer. Handing them a pack of fresh CR2032s is not just useful, it can save lives. These batteries are tiny, lightweight, and if stored properly, can last up to 10 years. Audit every device you count on after a collapse, note the battery types, and stock accordingly. Store button cells in moisture-proof containers, label them, and rotate periodically. You can stash hundreds in the space of a playing card deck, so there's no excuse for skipping them. The little things keep critical gear alive, and in a crisis, that matters more than the big-ticket items. These tiny cells are light, compact, and, if you store them correctly, can remain usable for up to a decade. That longevity is priceless in a prolonged emergency. Do this now. Inventory your equipment. Write down every device you'll depend on after a collapse and note which battery it uses. If it runs on a button cell, buy spares immediately. Keep them in moisture-proof containers. Label each pack and cycle your stock every few years. You can stash hundreds in the footprint of a single deck of cards, so there's no excuse to neglect them. While everyone obsesses over the headline gear, don't forget the small parts that keep critical tools alive. Button cells are tiny, but their role in your survival plan is enormous. Stock them now, and you'll be the person others rely on when devices die. 5. Heavy-duty sewing kit, the repair kit that preserves everything. When society's replacement cycle ends, the ability to mend gear becomes just as vital as owning it. That means a true heavy-duty sewing set, not delicate embroidery supplies. Industrial needles, waxed heavy thread, denim patches, curved upholstery needles, and leather repair strips. Duct tape is handy, but it won't permanently fix a torn jacket, a snapped pack strap, or a split tent seam. In normal times, you buy a replacement. In collapse, you can't. A small, rugged repair kit weighs next to nothing but pays enormous dividends. Mend clothing, backpacks, tarps, sleeping gear, hammocks, and broken straps. This isn't about looks. A ripped pair of pants in cold weather is a real danger. A leaking tarp ruins shelter. There's barter value too. In a long-term emergency, people will beg for repairs. If you can patch a jacket, sew a sole, or fix a bag, you become a critical service provider. Trades of food, medicine, or tools will follow. Pack sailmaker's needles, canvas-grade thread, leather strips, safety pins, heavy scissors or shears, and a thimble to protect your thumb. Include simple instructions or, better yet, practice the stitches now. Learn the skills while you have time. You won't be able to Google them mid-crisis. Bottom line, gear breaks. A heavy-duty sewing kit keeps it usable. Manual can opener, the gateway to your canned stores. Picture months of canned food stacked in the pantry. Then the grid goes down and your electric opener is useless. Or your flimsy manual opener snaps after a few uses. Suddenly, your food is sealed away in metal and you're improvising with rocks. That's dangerous and inefficient. Don't wait to realize cheap plastic-handled openers fail when you need them most. Invest in a high-quality, all-metal manual opener with generous grip handles and a gear-driven cutting wheel. It will stand up to constant use. Many rugged openers also include a bottle opener, which becomes unexpectedly useful when beverages, water bottles, or trade items are sealed. Safety matters too. Attempting to pry cans open with improvised tools risks deep cuts from jagged lids, and in a scenario without immediate medical care, that injury can escalate fast. A durable manual can opener prevents injury, unlocks your food, and is worth multiple backups. Keep one in the kitchen, one in your bug-out bag, and one spare or for trade. In a collapse where hospitals are gone and doctors are nowhere to be found, a single deep cut from a jagged can lid can spiral into a deadly infection. A solid, reliable can opener removes that risk entirely while making your life far easier. Now think beyond yourself. Barter value. Most people will have some canned food, but very few will have a dependable way to open it. That means your opener becomes more than just a tool. It's leverage. The ability to turn locked calories into edible meals instantly transforms you into someone worth trading with. You can exchange that utility for food, medicine, or other critical supplies. Pro move. Don't stop at one opener. Buy 3. Keep one in your kitchen for daily use, stash one in your bug-out bag, and set one aside as backup or barter currency. But don't just assume they'll work. Test them. Plenty of so-called sturdy openers collapse under pressure. You need one that glides through steel like butter, no hesitation. The lesson is simple. Prepping isn't just about the supplies you hoard, it's about making those supplies usable. A manual can opener might look insignificant, but in survival, it's the gatekeeper to your food security. Don't dismiss it. 7. Wind-up kitchen timer, the analog lifesaver nobody talks about. In modern life, timekeeping is so effortless we forget it exists. Phones, smartwatches, digital clocks, They do it all until the grid drops and batteries drain. Then what? Suddenly, time itself becomes a problem. That's where a simple wind-up kitchen timer steps up as a survival essential. Why? Because survival hinges on timing. Boiling water to make it safe to drink requires at least 10 minutes at a rolling boil. Undercook it, and you risk parasites. Overcook it, and you waste precious fuel. Cooking over open flame without a clock? That's how meals burn and supplies vanish. Need to give medicine on a schedule? Guessing isn't an option when a life is on the line. Stress and exhaustion warp your sense of time. Minutes stretch into hours or vanish in a blink. A mechanical timer restores precision. Twist the dial, let it tick, and when the bell rings, you act. No batteries, no charging, no apps. Just reliable, old-school function. And its uses stretch further. Manage rationed meals so nobody overeats. Rotate guard or night shifts with fairness. Train or drill your group with timed intervals. Even the psychological stability matters. In chaos, keeping track of time grounds you, keeps order, and fights panic. Now, consider its barter value. In a blackout world where people are guessing cooking times and water sterilization, a wind-up timer becomes a high-demand tool. Compact, durable, and irreplaceable once shelves empty. When you choose one, go quality. Metal gears inside, a loud mechanical bell, a clear, readable dial. Test it first. Flimsy versions won't survive heavy use. The bottom line, when the lights go out, you'll still know exactly when to act. A wind-up kitchen timer isn't old-fashioned. It's survival intelligence in mechanical form. 8. Rubber gloves, the thin barrier between survival and disaster. Everyone imagines survival gear as knives, water filters, axes, or maybe even body armor. But one of the cheapest, smallest, and most critical items is a simple box of rubber gloves. These aren't just dishwashing tools. They're your frontline defense against invisible killers. Bacteria, viruses, chemicals, waste. Picture this. You're dressing a wound. Blood, dirt, and infection risk everywhere. In a world without hospitals or antibiotics, bare hands can doom you both. A set of nitrile or latex gloves creates a clean barrier, protecting you and the person you're helping. That small step can save a life. But first aid is only the beginning. Handling waste, scrubbing contaminated surfaces, cleaning up spills, foraging in questionable places, gutting fish or butchering meat, all of these become high risk without gloves. With clean water scarce, even basic hygiene is a survival battle. Gloves keep your hands, your most vital tools, safe and functional. And that's just the beginning. Aluminum foil doubles as a heat reflector. You can position it behind a campfire to direct warmth back toward your shelter, or use it to insulate a cooking pot and save precious fuel. It can also act as an emergency signal mirror, flashing light over long distances to attract attention. Need to keep something dry? Fold it into a quick waterproof pouch. Need to fix a broken wire? Foil conducts electricity in a pinch, making it a temporary repair for electronics or batteries. Hunters and foragers can even shape it into makeshift fishing lures, or line it inside traps to draw animal curiosity with its shine. Durability is another overlooked strength. Unlike plastic wrap, foil won't rip apart in wind or melt near heat. It can be folded, refolded, and reused multiple times. A single roll can last months in a survival scenario if you use it wisely. And here's the kicker. It takes up almost no space. Toss a roll in your bug-out bag, stash a few in your kitchen, and you've just added one of the cheapest, lightest, and most versatile survival tools you can own. Now think barter value. When people are choking down cold beans or struggling to cook over open flames, you'll have the ability to roast, insulate, and make food taste better. A sheet of foil suddenly becomes trade currency, something so common now but invaluable when stores are bare. Don't underestimate it. Aluminum foil may look ordinary, But in a grid-down world, it's survival gold. Bonus point 2. Duct tape. Yes, it's a cliché, but only because it works. In survival, duct tape is the Swiss Army knife of adhesives. Need to patch a torn tarp? Seal a leaky water container? Splint a broken limb? Duct tape does it all. And unlike fancy gear, it doesn't require training to use. The only limit is your imagination. In fact, entire shelters have been built, shoes repaired, wounds dressed, and tools salvaged with nothing more than strips of tape. A single roll weighs little but can perform hundreds of tasks, making it one of the highest return on space investments you can make in your kit. And bonus point 3, safety pins. They're tiny, nearly weightless, and most people never think twice about them. But safety pins are the definition of versatile. They repair torn clothes in seconds, secure gear to your pack, serve as fish hooks in an emergency, or even double as lockpicks with some skill. A handful of safety pins can solve dozens of problems for almost no cost or space. Add them to your sewing kit, your first aid kit, and your bug-out bag. You'll thank yourself later. The takeaway: survival isn't always about the big flashy gear you see online. More often, it's about the simple, overlooked household tools that suddenly become irreplaceable when the grid goes down. Aluminum foil, duct tape, and safety pins may not look like much, but when disaster strikes, they're the difference between frustration and functionality. Small items, big impact. That's the real secret of survival. But hygiene is just the start. Baking soda pulls double duty in food preservation and preparation too. Sprinkle it inside storage containers to absorb moisture and odors, keeping your food supply fresher for longer. A pinch added to beans or tough cuts of meat while cooking can soften them faster, saving you fuel and time. It can even help neutralize acidity in canned tomato products, making survival meals more palatable. Now let's talk medical. In a world without pharmacies, baking soda steps up as an improvised remedy. Mix it with water to create a soothing rinse for heartburn or indigestion. Apply a paste to bug bites, rashes, or minor burns to reduce irritation. Even athlete's foot and other fungal issues can be eased with regular soaks in baking soda water. It's not a cure-all, but it's a cheap, safe tool that tackles multiple problems when options are scarce. Baking soda is also a cleaning powerhouse. In survival conditions, keeping your environment clean can mean the difference between staying healthy and getting sick. Use it to scrub pots, deodorize makeshift toilets, or disinfect surfaces without harsh chemicals. It's non-toxic, biodegradable, and effective, making it invaluable for both personal hygiene and group sanitation. And don't overlook its role in fire safety. In small kitchen or campfire flare-ups, tossing baking soda directly onto flames can smother them fast. It won't replace a fire extinguisher, but it's better than nothing when seconds count. Now consider barter value. Everyone else will be desperate for soap, toothpaste, cleaning agents, and simple remedies. You'll be sitting on a survival goldmine that costs pennies today, but will trade for food, tools, or medicine tomorrow. Divide it into smaller baggies, and you've got ready-made trade packs. Pro tip: stock up on the big bags, not just the little boxes. 5-pound bags of baking soda are cheap. Store indefinitely in airtight containers, and give you enough supply to cover hygiene, cooking, cleaning, and barter needs for years. The bottom line: baking soda is the ultimate hidden prepper's weapon. It cleans, it heals, it preserves, it protects, and it trades. It's proof that sometimes the simplest pantry staple is also the most powerful survival tool you can own. Again, its simplicity hides its true power. When everyone else is scrambling for half a dozen different products, you'll have one powder that covers it all: hygiene, cleaning, cooking, first aid, and even barter. Think about the efficiency here. One product replacing soap, toothpaste, surface cleaner, deodorant, antacid, and even cooking aid. That's not just convenience. That's survival math. Every ounce of weight you save in your bug-out bag, every dollar you save now, and every square inch of storage space you conserve could make the difference when things get tough. And here's the kicker. Baking soda never really goes bad if stored correctly. Kept in a cool, dry, airtight container, it will sit quietly on your shelf for years until the day you need it most. That makes it one of the lowest cost, longest-lasting investments you can make in your prepper stash. So don't underestimate this white powder. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, and you won't see survival companies slapping it into a $200 miracle kit because it's too cheap and too obvious. But that's exactly why it's priceless in a real collapse. Bottom line, baking soda is a survival titan hiding in plain sight. Stock it deep, pack it smart, and trade it wisely. The day will come when this ordinary item will be worth more than gold to the unprepared.